can see what lies round the corner. Who knew I'd find you down this road? Just when it seemed I could never be sure, your eyes melted the past like snow. I never needed anyone before. Now you are the future God's had in store. I choose you over the moon and stars. I choose you. No matter how far I have to go or what I lose, when it comes down to the truth, I choose you. Not much in this life lasts forever, and only God can make love last that long. But that's what I feel when we're together. Knowing it's right keeps me strong. There's a step of faith with every choice we make.
Mr. Ryder, you have an appointment with the State Counselor, Ms. Hilda Little, at 10 a.m. on October 18th. She will be giving testimony on your state of mind and helping the court to determine if you have been acting in the best interest of your daughter. You must keep this appointment if you plan to move forward with your case.
Hi. Can I help you?
I'm Seth Ryder, and I was told to be here this afternoon.
Why don't you have a seat? I will let Miss Little know that you're here. Mrs. Little, your 1 p.m. with Mr. Ryder's here. Okay. Thank you.
Come hell or high water, I'll take that stand. I choose you over the moon and stars. I choose you. No matter how far I have to go or what I lose, when it comes down.
Yes? Okay, thank you. Mr. Ryder, Miss Little will see you now. It's right down this hall, first door on your right.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Come in. Mr. Ryder. How are you? Make yourself comfortable. Have a seat. You okay today?
Yeah, I'm okay so far.
Mr. Ryder, let me assure you that my only interest is the protection of your daughter and to make sure that she's in the best possible situation. I'm neutral when it comes to you and the mother.
Really?
Yes. If you think otherwise, you need to tell me why. Well, maybe we could start by putting all of our cards on the table. And you could tell me what you're thinking.
What I'm thinking? Well, let's see. Your waiting room out there, it's got 6 pictures on the wall of a parent and a child. All mothers. You've got 2 different pamphlets out there, both for mothers and their children. This magazine here that's provided by the state, it's got 17 pictures in it. Find one that's got a father in it. It's all mothers and children. Take a look at the pictures on your wall and your thank you notes. Maybe I missed it, but I don't see one father.
Well, when you play your cards, you use the whole deck. Mr. Ryder, I am sure that I look like a suit to you. A state bureaucrat who has years of experience of making it difficult for fathers to see their children, but on this side of the desk is a heart. in flesh and blood. So instead of us being adversaries for the next few hours, I just need you to tell me what it is you want me to do so that you will tell me your story.
Sit on my side of the desk. No notes, no files. Call me Seth.
Robin, see if you can, let's see, change my appointment to tomorrow. That'd be good. Okay. Thanks. Okay, Seth. But I want to know the whole story. I'd like to understand why you have handled the situation the way you have. I'd like to know why you've decided to sue the state and its elected officials. And I'd like to know about your relationship with the child's mother.
Well, where do you want me to start?
This is nice. It's nice to be able to just sit and talk to a guy, and have a good time. All I ever do is argue with Joey. He's always on me about everything.
I'm sorry?
I know, me too. I mean, I pay the bills, I take care of the house. Every time I leave the house and come back, it's like 100 questions. Where have you been? Who have you been talking to? And just last week, he threw me to the ground. And the day before that, he slammed a car door on my leg.
Why do you put up with that? You should kick him out.
No, I've been trying to save up to move out.
What if I could help? No strings attached.
You hardly even know me. I don't think I could do that. Why? What'd you have in mind?
Well, I have a 2-bedroom apartment. I could move you in like 2 weeks and just pay me back when you get on your feet.
Can I think about it? I mean, that's really nice of you to do that. No strings, right?
No strings.
All this is happening pretty fast for you.
Man, it's not like I'm moving in with her. Just helping her out. Her and I are completely platonic. Besides, she could use some good friends right now.
And she's still married?
Very. Hey, you got something you want to say to me?
Friends don't look at each other like you do. Even good friends.
You doubt me?
I'm just saying, that's all. Look, you know I'll back your play 110% no matter what.
That's why I love you, man.
I don't like the way you're looking at me now.
Don't you listen to him. That isn't all the way it happened. He's right. I'm actually making it sound better than
Seth, this dinner's giving me all sorts of new information on you.
it's lies. Nothing but a bunch of damn lies. Don't listen to him.
So what else do you have on him?
How much time do you have, sweetheart? How about the one with you and the she-male?
No.
What?
No. That'll do.
Oh, please do tell.
Man, don't throw me under the bus like this.
The lady asked the question, Seth. Should I just lie to her? Should I be dishonest? Is that what you want me to be?
Shut up. And she was totally a chick.
With an Adam's apple?
I will never understand why a man shows his affection for his friend by making him look like a jackass.
Oh, I'm loving it.
Ladies. So Seth and the she-male.
Oh, you are such an ass.
I suddenly swallowed him. I was able to just gasp. Would you ever drink with me? And that's how we met.
Really?
Well, that's what I remember. What do you remember?
I felt sorry for you. I've been paying for that mistake ever since.
It was the best mistake you ever made.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me for just a minute. I'm gonna step away and have a smoke.
What?
Follow her.
You okay?
Yeah. Perfect. Thank you. That's one of the best nights I've had in a long time.
That was my pleasure.
The hot tub looks nice.
Yeah, too bad we don't have our suits.
Yep. Too bad.
Well, are you just gonna stand there?
Well, our work here is done.
Did you know she was married when you met her for lunch?
No. No. If I would have known she was married, it would have ended right then, right there. But since I was there, I stayed and I listened. But her being married, it was just the first bombshell that she dropped on me.
Yeah, but you stayed, knowing she was married. You don't think that that's a lack of good judgment?
Yes. But I was lonely. And she was beautiful.
You offered her an apartment. Why would you do that when you've just met someone?
I hate the thought of anybody being stuck in that kind of situation. I thought I could help her out, and to be honest with you, I got vibes that there could be more between us.
So did her husband find out?
Oh yeah, he confronted me this one time, and we just kind of had this real awkward stare down. We exchanged some words. He told me I pretty much didn't know what I was getting into. He was right.
I'd like to just back up. You said she dropped the first bombshell. What were the other bombshells?
It turns out her husband was actually a pretty decent guy, and she was the one causing most of the trouble. I mean, she'd been running around on him for years. He caught her in the sack with another guy. We kept our relationship pretty much a secret for the first couple months. During that time, I found out she was in debt up to her eyeballs, longer than we'd ever lived to see to get out of. When she was 5, her own brother raped her. Her parents knew about it. And this went on until she was about 12. When she was 14, the state came in and put her and her sister in foster care. I mean, she had a horrible, horrible home life. But through all of it, she was the most normal one of all of them.
I understand, but, Seth, so much baggage. So much baggage. You couldn't have just left.
No. No.
Because you were in love.
Yes.
All the signs were there, and anyone with good rational thought would have left. They would have gotten out right then. But I've been married for 30 years, and I've been in love for a lot longer. And if there's anything I know that being rational has nothing to do with it. However, all of these signs you've said, all the abuse, the irresponsible parents, the affairs, it doesn't make her an unfit mother and not even a bad person.
Well, she wasn't most of the time. I mean, she's not a bad person, but you gotta understand, living with Nicole, well, it was like living with two different people. I'd go to bed with her at night, and I wouldn't know which person I was waking up with in the morning, the one that loved me or the one that hated me.
That was Better Man by Robbie Davis. Hey, this is Johnny on the spot.
I'm telling you, you need to get out of this while you still can.
Well, man, I've done everything I know to do to get along with her. She thinks I don't love her. It's breaking me up.
You know, I believe she thinks nobody can love her after what happened to her as a kid.
It's tearing me apart, man. I mean, I can't concentrate on my store. I'm drinking more. I can't sleep. It's not good.
Talk to you for a minute.
I'll get some more beer.
What are you doing here, Nick?
Just miss you.
Doing this again tonight.
Me so mad, Seth! I just want to hit you! Just one damn time!
You know, we got neighbors. They're gonna freaking hear you yelling and screaming.
I don't give a damn about the neighbors!
You know what? I've had enough. I'm going to bed. I'm not doing this with you tonight. Every time! Just round and round and round. I've had enough. You stand out here and yell and scream all you want. I'm going to bed. Good night. I don't care.
Son of a bitch! I hate you!
She just wouldn't shut the hell up.
I think we need to take a break. Would you like some water?
Yeah, water would be fine.
Good.
Thanks.
Can he be understanding? Is he quiet and shy? Is he stronger than steel? Is he man enough to cry? Look in my eyes, tell me what you see. Is he a better man than me? Can he dry your tears whenever you cry? Will he always be there when you lay down at night? If he can love you like that and still set you free, then he's a better man than me.
Mr. Ryder. Seth. Here. Obviously, you have a lot of unresolved anger in your relationship with Nicole, but I think you're letting that anger affect the way you're dealing with the state.
You know, the memories, they're not all bad. I just keep wondering what I could have done different so we could have stayed together. I mean, not just for my little girl, but...
Tell me about the pregnancy.
Well, it was an oops baby. I mean, we used one of those home pregnancy tests, and I was happy about it. But Nicole, one minute she'd be crying about it, the next she'd be happy.
Well, how did you two get along during the pregnancy?
You see that? That's a picture of my baby. Guess what? It's a little girl. You always wanted a little girl. Now I have her. That makes me the boss. You'll never see her.
Not at all.
So I believe that the baby will have to have the same operation.
Well, Doc, I did some research, and from what I found out, it doesn't run in my family. So it's a 50-50 chance, is that right?
Yes, but, you know, we can't find out right now. But when the child is 6 to 8 weeks old, that's when it's going to set in. So it's important that you gain weight. And you got to stop smoking. You know, when you came in here, you were 95 pounds. You're at 98 now. That is not good for 7 months. All right, we need this baby to go full term, and it has to be healthy if it needs an operation.
I've tried to get her to eat more, but I've completely given up on the smoking.
Miss Bailey, you got to take care of yourself and your baby. Okay? I'm gonna see you in a few weeks.
You always have to be right, don't you? That baby's gonna have that operation. You watch. You're gonna be wrong.
You say that like you want it to happen.
I just want you to be wrong, Seth. It's a simple operation. It's not gonna hurt her.
Nothing ever looks the same, but it don't really matter.
Hey, what you doing?
Oh, what are you doing here? We're just listening to the band, drinking a couple beers. Please don't start nothing.
You started it, Seth. Why aren't you at home with me and my baby?
You told me to stay away, so I'm staying away. Just go on home and I'll bother you.
Too late. Travis? What's up, big man? How's the band?
Well,
Hi, I'm Nicole. See that guy right there? This is his baby. Oh, what's he doing? Oh, he's got his ass sitting on a bar stool getting shit-faced with the boys. Yeah, that's a good guy for you, huh? Okay, I thought so too. You know what? Son of a bitch doesn't love me. Doesn't that mean he doesn't love his own baby? Is that what that means?
are you completely out of your mind? Just go on home.
You know what, Seth? I would hate for you to have to come spend some time with me. So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna walk my ass out that door, I'm gonna go home, and I'm gonna sit there and talk to my baby. Does that sound good to you?
Well, that went well.
Yeah. The next day, she wanted me to go to the doctor's office with her.
You see her moving?
Yeah. We could be so happy together. Marry me. Marry me.
Miss Bailey, how you feeling here?
Good.
It's pretty. How about this? A beautiful baby girl. It's amazing what a month will do, right? Are you taking your vitamins?
Yes.
No. Well, they've just been sitting on top of the fridge.
Okay, so she's not been taking her vitamins?
No.
Not at all.
No.
All right, just give me 1 second. I'm gonna be right back.
What the hell are you doing, Seth?
Nicole, I'm not gonna lie to the
Why are you doing this to me?
This is about the health of our baby.
My baby. What don't you understand about that? It's my baby.
Okay, Miss Bailey, listen. As I've been telling you, you haven't been listening to me over the past month. I've been asking you to please stop smoking, take your vitamins, and also to gain some weight. You haven't listened to anything that I've said. So this is a document here that states that we've told you all these things. I'm gonna need you to sign this. I'm gonna read over and please sign this. It's very important. Listen, if this baby's born unhealthy or not able to have the operation that she may have to have, there's gonna be one person to blame. I'm really gonna have to ask you to please keep an eye on it. There's no reason to react like this, okay? This is for the safety of your baby. That's all I'm asking you to do, is to please take care of yourself. If you could do me a favor and just make sure she takes her vitamins.
I'm doing everything I can.
Okay. I'm gonna send the nurse right back in here and I'll talk to you guys later.
Why do you have to make this so difficult? We can't just...
I knew it was a mistake to let you back here today. Just take me home and don't you ever come around me or my baby again. Ride with you, I'd rather walk!
Just calm down. I'll take you home and I'll leave.
No! Hell no! Let me out of here now or I'm gonna open this door and jump out! Everything's my fault!
Just calm down!
And now you've got the doctor saying it! I bet that made you real happy, didn't it? Didn't it?
No!
I hate you!
Calm down!
That's it! That's it! That's it! That's it, Seth! What are you gonna do about it all? What? Nothing! Nothing! You know they throw your ass in jail if you touch me!
I'll go with you. Counseling, anything. I do love you. You're the love of my life. But I don't know how to fix this.
You hate me and I know it! Don't ever think that my baby's gonna know who her dad is! This is my baby! Now I have the power!
Seth Ryder and I just had a baby.
You did?
My girlfriend, well, sort of my girlfriend.
Okay.
She just had a baby. I just want you to tell me where she is so I can see her.
All right, just a second.
I'm a little excited.
I don't see Ryder. Could it be that she's under another name?
The mother's name's Nicole Bailey.
Bailey. Okay, here she is. She's in room 402, and the baby is, let's see, she's still in neonatal, in an incubator. She was born approximately 4 weeks, premature.
Well, is she okay? Can I see her?
I'm sorry you can't see the baby unless the mother says.
What?
It's a state law.
State law? Well, that is bullshit. She's my baby too.
I'm sorry, sir, but the state does not recognize the father unless the mother has put his name on the birth certificate. And as it stands right now, your name does not appear.
You mean if she don't put my name on the birth certificate, then I don't have a right to see my baby?
That's right, sir. We protect the rights of the mother.
Would it be too much to ask if you could pick up that damn phone and give the mother a call? And maybe see if I can see the baby?
I might be able to do that, sir, if you will calm down. Miss Bailey. Yes, this is Nurse Bauer. I have Mr. Ryder here. He would like to see you and your baby. Okay. Okay, thank you. She does not want you to see the child, nor does she want you to know anything about the health of the baby.
That is bullshit. What kind of shit show y'all run around here?
I'm sorry, sir, but that is the law, and there is nothing that I can do about it.
The state would never dream of not letting the mother see her newborn baby. Screw the law. It's my baby. You're telling me there's nothing you could do?
Mr. Ryder, if you would calm down, I will go talk to her and see what I can do.
Thank you.
We'll read that.
Mr. Ryder, the mother has agreed to let you see the baby, as long as she is with her.
Why don't you tell me who's in control now, Seth? All right, you know what? That's enough. Get him out of here.
Nicole, let me look at her just once. What'd you name her?
Oh, Seth. You should have thought about that before. And, it's none of your business. This is my baby, and you're never gonna see her unless I say so. Oh, and, I don't think that's gonna happen very often.
Come on, Mr. Ryder, let's go. Come on.
Donna Marie Bailey. Was the one name that I chose from a list that I didn't want to use. It was Donna Marie. And Bailey? Oh, that's her ex-husband's last name. She started that day with a plan to keep me from seeing my daughter and to cause trouble. She uses her like a pawn in some crazy chess game. I mean, it's... You know what's ridiculous is the state, they say that she's got the right to do that. Think about this. Just think about this. Say the minute after the baby's born, the doctor gives her to me, and I take her and I put her in a room and don't let the mother see her, and I name her. Well, there'd be police, there'd be investigators, there'd be everything but rioting in the streets if fathers had those rights. But a mother? Nobody would ever think of not letting a mother see her newborn baby. But fathers? Oh, we're the enemy. We're just a bunch of bad guys anyway.
No, well, I don't think the state looks at it that way. I think the state sees it that men who have children out of wedlock don't really want to be a part of the child's life, so they feel they need to protect the rights of the mother.
Oh,
I see. So they just assume that the mother wants the child, and that all fathers are bad, all mothers are good, or at least that's the starting point as far as the state of Tennessee sees it, right?
I did not say that, but the child's rights have to be protected, and the state wants what is best for the child.
And what gives the state the right to decide that?
Well, the child is on 10 care, and the state's policy is to help the mothers, not that they are against the fathers. But the numbers show that children who are born to unmarried couples unfortunately usually end up in many of the state's programs. Therefore, the state has an interest in that child.
You know, granted, that information is probably correct, but let me give you an example. A married couple has a baby, and they're on 10 care, and the day after they have the baby, the mother decides she wants to go off and have a life of her own and name the baby after, let's say, her favorite actor, Reynolds. You think that's legal?
I really don't.
The answer's no! The baby gets the father's last name, and a father gets to see his child. Where's the state's interest there? The law says the baby gets the father's last name. A married father has rights that I don't have, and more to the point, my child doesn't have rights that a married couple's child has. It's not my little girl's fault that she was born out of wedlock.
But what about the right of the child? The best interest of the child?
I am so sick of hearing that. Look, there's standards that have been set up by the state that allow them to interfere with the parent's rights in the child's best interest. If a child's been abused, if it's been underfed, if it's not going to school, or if it's showing a lack of medical care, for example. Until one of those standards isn't met, the state can't order you as a married parent to do anything concerning your child. But if you're not married, the state can order you to do anything and use the excuse in the best interest of the child. And that's a direct violation of your state and federal constitutional rights.
Seth, I need you to calm down. Sit down, please. Sit down. I just needed to see your reaction if I took a stance on my opinion. Seth, you may never have laid a hand on Nicole, but you're very intimidating, and it comes off as very controlling. And she lived with you, what, 2 years? Is it possible during those 2 years and her actions kept getting worse that she just felt like her opinion wasn't equal to yours? You have a lot of anger, a lot of anger. Well, let's just bypass this constitutional argument. Let's talk about you and Nicole. Did she let you see the baby?
No. I would call her every day, and I'd ask if I could see Donna, and she would just say no. And then sometimes it would just be, nope. You don't love me, that means you don't love my baby.
Did she tell you about the baby's health, or was she willing to work with you to try and work it out so you could see the baby?
No, I tried for weeks. She told me it was none of my business. None of my business how her child was doing.
So that's when you decided to go to court.
I had no choice. I asked her to let me see Donna, and she said she wouldn't until the state made her. So when the baby was about 8 weeks old, I filed in juvenile court. That's when I found out that my daughter and I, we didn't have the same rights as married fathers and children. I thought lawyers had to tell the truth, and court procedures had to be followed.
Seth. Jack Benson, Nicole's attorney. I believe it's in your best interest if we speak about this before this whole thing gets started. Why don't we step outside and talk a minute? I got you on this one, Seth. She wants you to sign this, saying you're not the father, giving up all rights to the child. If you don't, I will take you for everything you have. And you know this judge will do whatever we ask. You won't be seeing this newborn anytime soon. And when you do, it'll be under our terms. So why not take the easy way? Nicole said if you sign this, she'll agree never to seek support.
I'll tell you what, Jack. Why don't you take those pieces of paper and shove it up your ass? See, that's my little girl. And ain't no judge or piece of shit lawyer gonna keep her out of my life. You got that?
All right. Oh, yes, this court is back in session. Honorable Judge Phillip presiding. I'll be seated, please.
Okay, let's see. What do we have first? Ryder versus Bailey. I believe, Mr. Benson, you're here to protect Miss Bailey. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Ryder, have a seat right over there. Miss Bailey, you look nice today.
Thank you, Your Honor.
What do we want to do with this, Mr. Benson?
Well, Your Honor, I filed this here today, so I'd like to
Mr.
speak
Ryder,
first.
this is my courtroom, and I will decide who speaks first. See that man over there? He's the bailiff. And that set of cuffs on his belt has your name on them if you speak again. Now, like I said, what do we have here, Jack?
Your Honor, we have here a man who has taken no responsibility for this child. In fact, when he found out Miss Bailey was pregnant, he just left. He has not assisted with any medical bills, hasn't seen the child, and he even showed up a day late, I might add, drunk at the hospital when this child was born. While this baby is lying in an incubator, he is out partying and drinking. Now, Miss Bailey does not deny that he is the father, but wishes him to have no contact with the child since he has taken no interest to this date. So we ask that the father take a parentage test, and until those results are given to this court, that he have no contact with the mother or the child. We also ask the court that Mr. Ryder pay for these tests and my fees.
Well, Mr. Benson, I believe that's more than fair. Mr. Ryder, I am ordering you to take a parentage test and to have no contact with Miss Bailey or the child until we return.
Yes, sir, but I believe they're going to try to drag this out. And what he just reported you are not the facts. And just now outside the courtroom, he just tried to...
Mr. Ryder, I don't believe you heard me, so I will say this clearly, and you will follow my orders without question. You will go take the test, and then you will file to return here. At that time, I will hear the rest of your case. Until you prove you're the father, you have no rights to this child. I don't believe this mother and Mr. Benson will abuse this situation, and I don't care what you were told outside this courtroom. What matters in my courtroom is what I say. You chose to have a child without getting married. So it's my position that you will take care of this child and you will do it under my supervision if you are proven to be the father. Now go across the street to schedule the test. Do we understand each other?
Yes, sir.
Look, I know it's been 8 months, but they would have limited the visitation because the baby's an infant.
They say the baby has to bond with its mother. I missed her first Christmas, her first Easter. How do I get those memories back? And what happens if the mother dies? Does the state think that they gotta send her off with the female because the father can't hack it? I mean, and bonding? What about a father? Say what you just said and replace the mother with the father? There's no way any judge or an elected official will put up with that. Not seeing her daughter for 8 months and not knowing if she had an operation? My God, man, I don't know anything that's going on.
Easy. I'm on your side.
Travis, I just want my rights protected as equal as the mother's. I mean, if she was going through the same situation that I am, there'd be politicians standing in line to give speeches about protecting a mother's rights. They make me out to be some right-wing nut who's trying to control somebody.
I love you, man.
I love you too, man.
Did you get a lawyer for tomorrow?
No, but I shouldn't need one. I'm only asking for a few simple things.
Which are?
For her last name to be changed to mine, for equal time with her.
And I'd also ask that we could share holidays.
Mr. Ryder, let's just cut to the chase here. I am going to grant that the test shows that you are the father, and by order of the court that the child's last name be changed to reflect this. As far as visitation, I'm not going to give that to you. This is an infant that is bonded to its mother, and I'm not about to tear her away from her mother to spend time with you. What I will do is give you 2 hours on Saturdays and 2 hours on Sundays. That should give the child time to get used to you. At that time, I will order that you get every other weekend and shared holidays. You will furnish medical insurance. The mother will give you a copy of the Social Security card and birth certificate showing the name change. Mr. Ryder, you will pick the child up at the mother's house and return her there.
Your Honor, we would like the father to pay $75 a week in child support, and that this court find him in arrears for not paying any support since the child's been born. I mean, Your Honor, Miss Bailey has had the burden of supporting her child, and Mr. Ryder hasn't contributed a penny to help. We feel if this court does not keep tight rein on him, she may never see any type of support.
I agree that there should be some arrearage here. I'm going to order 5 months back child support be paid, and let's see, figure that at $75 per week, Mr. Benson, and we will add it to the $75 per week that Mr. Ryder is to pay. Let's make it an extra $15 per week until the arrearage is paid. Mr. Ryder, do you understand?
Yes, sir, but Your Honor, the entire time I've offered them money.
I did not ask you that. I asked, did you understand my orders?
Yes, sir, I understand, but look, my income isn't that high right now to make that kind of payment. And why can't I see my daughter more?
Mr. Ryder, you need to feel lucky that you see this child is all. This is an infant that does not need to be away from her mother. What is she, 8 months old? And $75 a week is not enough to pay the bills. So get a second job if you need to.
This is a direct violation of my rights.
Mr. Ryder, this probably does violate your constitutional rights, but this is how I do things in my court. As an unmarried father, you don't have any rights. Do we understand each other?
Yes, sir, but you just pissed off the wrong father.
Hey, here to get Donna.
I'll put her in the car.
I can do it. I got a car seat.
I want my baby to be safe. I'll do it.
Car Car seat's over here. What kind of formula is she drinking? Well, I got your money order here for you. If you tell me what kind of formula she's drinking, I'll stop by and pick it up for you.
You just better have her back in 2 hours or the sheriff's gonna be looking for you.
Hi, baby. He loves you. You have to go with him.
I was so happy to see her. But that was by far the hardest thing I've ever had to do in my life was to lift up her little shirt. I was so scared there'd be a scar there. But there wasn't. Until then. Well, that's how I found out that she didn't have to have that operation. But until then, I didn't have a right to know. At least as far as the state of Tennessee is concerned.
I'm so sorry. No parent should ever have to go through that. How was your first visit?
Oh, it was great. She was already pulling up on the table. I had to go to a friend's house because I lived 45 minutes away, and that would have cut into our time. But she was so beautiful. I mean, we just laughed and played. And before the 2 hours were up, I went to the store and I picked up 2 different types of formula and some diapers. So I just left them on the steps.
Why on the steps?
Well, when I took the baby back, she just slammed the door on me. She wouldn't talk to me.
Well, I would guess that it eased your mind to at least see her and spend a little time with her.
Yeah, it did. But, I mean, that night, I couldn't sleep. I just kept waking up worrying about Donna and thinking about Nicole. I'd fall asleep and then I'd wake up every 5 minutes. I mean, I just kept thinking about everything we'd been through. And if there'd have been anything that I could have done different to make it better.
That's strings, right?
Marry me. I love you.
I hate you! I just want you to want anything from you! I was never walked in that
So I learned that the baby will have to have the same operation.
No contact with Miss Bailey or the child.
Why don't you tell me who's in control now, Sid?
This probably does violate your constitutional rights.
I missed her first Christmas. Her first Easter. How do I get those memories back?
my baby.
The next day when I called, she changed the time. I showed up, all the diapers and milk were in the garbage can at the end of the drive. The next weekend, she changed the time again. So I waited a few minutes, went back to the door, no answer. So I waited about 5 minutes. I kept looking in the rear view.
Nothing. So I called the police to have a witness.
Seth, what the hell's going on out here?
I don't know. I'm just trying to get Donna and get out of here.
Well, y'all know that's all I've got to do today, sit out here and referee you two.
Why don't you go ahead and tell that to her?
He's supposed to come to me. I shouldn't have to walk to him.
Nicole, calm down.
He's trying to control me.
Nicole. Seth, take that baby and go home. Seth. And bring her back home town.
Your Honor, we need a specific time instead of leaving it up to the mother every week.
Mr. Ryder, can you not work with this mother? I'm sure she has the child's best interest at heart in setting the pickup times.
What time do I pick her up tomorrow?
I don't know. What do you think? Should we just have him call us tomorrow?
Sir, I disagree. We need to set a time and a place, that way we don't have to meet. Can't wait till the last minute every time to find out what I can get her. I want to make plans with her.
Tough. Don't see her then.
I'm also going to ask the court to order the mother to give me a copy of the birth certificate and the social security number like you've already done. And I believe she's not changed the baby's last name yet to Ryder and is still referring to her as Bailey.
Miss Bailey, give him a copy of the records and do not refer to the child's last name as Bailey. Let's set a time of 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. And when the weekends start, we will set a time of 6 p.m. on Fridays to 6 p.m. on Sundays. That should solve this. And Mr. Ryder, work with the mother instead of against her.
The next time I pick her up, as I'm putting her in her car seat, I notice that she's just soaked. So on the way back home, I called Nicole and asked her maybe she picked her up from the babysitter and maybe they left her wet. And I said it in a real nice voice, and I told her I washed and dried her clothes, but when I pulled into the driveway, there was a police officer there.
How are you?
I'm all right.
You're trying to make everyone think that I'm not a good mother.
Hey.
Look, do you see a wet spot now?
No.
Do you see one? Hell no.
Hey, Nicole.
The only thing I...
Look, is she wet now?
The only thing I did was...
Take the baby in the house.
The baby? You mean my baby?
Let me talk to you. Come on. Let me ask you something. What are you doing calling me on a wet diaper? What in the hell is going on out here?
I have no idea. Look, Eddie, I'm sorry you're caught in the middle of this every freaking weekend, but what the hell am I supposed to do?
Well, maybe you need to go downtown and talk to the judge.
Your Honor, it would help if I could pick up the baby in a public place. My weekends are about to start, and it's a problem every time I go to pick up the baby.
Your Honor, Mr. Ryder just can't seem to get along with anybody. He is creating as much of a problem as he can for the mother since you didn't give him equal time. He's taking your ruling out on the mother.
Mr. Ryder, it seems you're going to be a constant problem here. You have a beautiful little girl, and the mother's taking good care of her, and you drag her into court every chance you get. Mr. Ryder, I'm going to set the police department as a place to pick up and drop off the baby.
Your Honor, we're here today because you didn't specify which police department. Nicole's been taking Donna to police departments all across the state. Now, I would ask that you would specify exactly which police department she's to take her to, and that you would grant me some extra time to make up for the time that I've lost.
Mr. Ryder, first, no extra time. I don't want this child to be away from the mother no more than she has to be. Second, I believe you both knew I was talking about our police department, so let's make sure you meet there.
Your Honor, how long does this go on? Can you not see what the problem is here?
Don't question me, Mr. Ryder. I believe you're a big part of the problem and that you are causing the mother to act this way.
Your Honor, she still hasn't given me a copy of the birth certificate. I haven't gotten the social security number, and she still hasn't changed the baby's name yet. Now, it's been 5 months, and this is the 3rd time that you've ordered her to do this.
Watch the tone you have there. Miss Bailey, be sure to get those records to him and meet him at our local police department.
Is this how this works? I mean, this is ridiculous.
Mr. Ryder, you can leave now or spend the night in jail.
Call Department of Children's Services and get an officer up here, please. Mr. Ryder, you her father?
Yes, what is it? What's the problem?
Well, her head is swollen, but look at her foot. She stepped on a furnace or something, and this diaper rash tells me she's not been changed in some time.
Well, I just picked her up from the police department 15 minutes ago.
Whose care was she in?
Her mother's.
Mr. Ryder, we're showing a different name on our records using the mother's name. We're showing her last name as Bailey.
Well, she was born at this hospital, but her mother gave her that last name instead of mine.
Well, yes, but this was just within the last month.
What? Well, why was she here?
I can't tell you. Only the mother has the right to the records.
Well, I'm her father. Don't I have a right to know?
The state only allows us to give those records to the custodial parent. I'm sorry.
Yeah, all I know is every time I go out there, they have a big argument. I'm glad
Who's
somebody.
having an argument?
Well, I'm glad somebody else can talk.
Eddie, Adana's got a bad burn on her foot. She's all swelled up with a knot on her head.
Settle down now. This is Miss Walker. She's with the DCS. Now, why don't you just take it from when you picked up the baby today?
I went straight to the police station. That's where I meet her mother, and I brought her straight here.
Do you have any idea what happened to your daughter?
No, I asked Nicole about the knot on her head, and she just walked away from me. Now, Eddie, you gonna do something about this?
Well, we'll talk, Nicole, yeah. We'll get some pictures.
Ooh, it's the coolest place. I've been down some hard roads in my
Hey, why don't you come dance with me?
lost more than a
Are you completely out of your mind?
I'm gonna be okay.
She was the one good thing I never thought I'd find. But it's right
Why are you still here?
right now she's got
Don't think you'll be dancing with me
in
either.
her hands. And I can see the life I've dreamed of from where I stand. Oh, it's the coolest place.
Eddie, you get in here. Now, I ain't taking her back to that house, Eddie. You do whatever you want to do. You arrest me, you put me in jail. She ain't going back to that house.
Calm down, son. Dr. Walker, get jealous.
This child has a severe rash and swelling. She also has a fresh tear in her vagina, about 1/10 of an inch long.
Doctor, why don't we see if we can get her in a Vanderbilt tomorrow? We'll get another opinion.
Mr. Ryder, how long has she been in your care?
You're from the state.
Yes, sir.
Best thing you could do is you stay the hell away from me right now.
We're going to have to inspect your daughter.
You ain't touching my child.
That's impossible. My job is to take care of your daughter. Someone has to take care of your daughter.
The state's done everything they could do to keep my little girl away from me. In the meantime, she's got burns on her. She's got black and blue eyes.
Seth? Work with me here, son. We need to know where the baby's been, who she's been with. Try to answer a few questions. We're gonna help you. You're gonna have to help me.
You know, at this point, you really have no say in it. Remember?
Screw the law and screw you!
You. We are getting to the bottom of this.
Go to hell!
Well, there's no way to be sure, but from our experience, I'm 98% sure.
98%. 98%? Well, can I get a copy of that report?
No. Only the investigator and the custodial parent have a right to see it.
You know, you people are unbelievable. I hope none of you ever have to face the fact that you can't get the information on your own child. What this state's done to me and my child, I wouldn't wish on anyone.
I'm a moonshine toter. I got red line motors. On my Harley, power shifting, dodging highway patrollers. I'm a flag waving, freedom loving highwayman. Burning up them back roads every chance.
You might want to turn around.
I might feel a little crazy. I'm not trying to be
Picked the wrong guy on the wrong day.
throwback, country, western hill.
I will kill you. Sorry, son of a bitch.
Eddie?
Seth, I got a warrant for your arrest. Non-payment of child support.
What? Are you kidding me? Oh, hell, what about Donna?
Miss Walker's gonna take her over to Mama's house. You need to go along with this. Don't start any trouble. That's exactly what they want.
Don't do this to me.
Mr. Ryder, this is why our office is so important to the state. We make sure that children like yours get taken care of. Deadbeat dads are the biggest problem we face.
Miss Walker, you don't know what a big problem is, but you do me a favor. You go ahead and tell that governor of yours that this deadbeat dad...
Your Honor, we have a father here who refuses to pay child support. The only time he pays is when he's threatened with arrest. Now, Miss Bailey cannot afford to pay all the child's bills herself. She's getting a second job because the father refuses to pay his court-ordered child support. We ask that you take a zero-tolerance policy against this man and jail him until he can pay the remaining balance.
Your Honor, I've paid my child support on time for 2 years. I lost my job, and I told the mother that I'd be slow paying it for the next 3 months, but I'd catch up. Now, I'm arrested without warning in front of my little girl. Now, I agree with Mr. Benson about zero tolerance, but you've asked the mother 18 times to give me records that I still don't have. So if I'm to be held in contempt, shouldn't she?
I'm going to give you 45 days to pay up or go to jail. Mr. Ryder, you have been here so much, I'm beginning to think you spend more time here than I do. Why don't you want to take care of your baby?
If you had my daughter's best interest at heart, why don't you take her back in your office and ask her what her last name is? I bet she can't tell you, because her mother teaches her that she's got a different last name. Yeah, and the court stands by and does nothing.
That's enough, Mr. Ryder.
Your Honor, you allow her lawyer to stand up here, give speeches, and tell lies that you yourself know are not true. Yet I'm not allowed to say anything.
You have 45 days to pay up or go to jail, Mr. Ryder. I'm entering a pickup order, Mr. Benson. If he does not pay, you place a phone call to the DA's office and have him picked up. Mr. Ryder, maybe that's just what you need, a few weeks in jail.
Think about it, Miss Little. How's a man supposed to pay child support from jail? I mean, I get arrested, no warning.
But she's been in contempt since day one. No arrests, no consequences.
I know the court hasn't helped you, Seth, and I understand your frustration, but to sue the state, the DCS, the governor, elected officials, you don't think that's a little bit much?
Look, I don't mean any disrespect. You're here to represent the state.
How did the state react to you going public on your website?
Elected officials, they passed the buck mostly. They told me to contact my local representative, who just happens to be best friends with the judge. But then I got lucky. Senator Bill Frist writes an article for USA Today. He did a story on me. Then the governor's office, they contacted me. And they told me if I laid off the governor, that DCS, well, they might just take a closer look at my case. And suddenly, things changed. That's when I started getting emails of support.
Am I correct that you got a threatening call from the DCS?
Yeah, it's a guy named Lane Simpson. Gives me a call. Says that if I don't lay off, that they can make it so I don't see my baby again.
And what did you tell him?
I'm not gonna repeat that in mixed company. But they sent a letter to the local sheriff saying that I was threatening them. So I took a picture of Miss Edwards. I put her on my website, holding handcuffs, saying she was looking for fathers. That got them to move on my case.
Did it help?
It helped some. We ended up back in court. DCS representative, she told me she'd never seen a more programmed 3-year-old child in her entire career. Later, she stopped me in the hall. Well, let's just say she's gonna be of some help down the line.
Have you asked for help from one of those dads' organizations?
You know, don't get me wrong. I mean, those guys believe that they're really helping. But to me, they're compromising way too much. They're negotiating with the enemy. You can't deny that this system isn't broke. I mean, politicians know that the laws are wrong, but one woman crying, oh, that's worth more than 1,000 fathers marching on Nashville. The governor, he can issue an order to stop enforcing these ridiculous laws. And politicians, they can pass an equal rights bill for parents and the children of the state of Tennessee that'll lead the way for the rest of the nation to follow.
Seth, you want an overhaul of the whole system. And that's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take some patience. You know, I understand your frustrations. I understand your feelings. I do. I truly do. And I even think you have some good points. But I don't know what I can do about the testimony that I've been asked to give in your case.
Just tell the truth. Look, I've watched you today, and I've seen it in your eyes that you've got serious doubts and questions about the system. Don't think about me and my daughter. Think about the rest of the kids in the state of Tennessee and what this system does to them.
I don't know that you are going to like my testimony. I think you have a lot of anger. I'm not sure you're thinking as much about your daughter as you are about what the state has done against you. And for the mother, yes, I think she needs counseling, but I don't see that she's an unfit mother. Now, saying all of that, I promise you, I will speak from the heart.
Well, that's all I ask. You're in a position to help other people not lose their child. So search your soul and speak your mind. Put yourself in my position and think about what you would do if this was your child. Well, I guess I'll see you in court.
Maybe. No matter what happens, I will say a prayer for you and your daughter.
Thank you. Oh, and maybe you could add a couple pictures of some fathers.
Good day, Mr. Ryder.
All right.
All right, let's all quiet down. I don't allow this kind of racket in my courtroom. Well, Mr. Ryder, I guess you got your platform. Don't think for a second that all this coverage will affect my decisions in this case. I've run this courtroom my way for 40 years, and it won't change today.
Well, I hope not, Your Honor. I want this jury and the reporters to see exactly how the state of Tennessee allows this system to work.
Okay, let's see. You are suing the state, all elected representatives, and the governor for damages because they have violated your constitutional rights and their oath. Do I have that correct?
Yes, sir.
Seems like nonsense, but maybe this will settle this once and for all. Let's hear opening arguments. Mr. Ryder, I think you're first.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this case is simple. I'm a parent, a father, and I love my little girl with all my heart. As you listen to the facts of this case, if you find that I've been treated any differently than any other parent because of the laws that are put in place, then this state and everyone listed in this suit is guilty. It is that simple.
May it please the court and ladies and gentlemen of the jury, it's not that simple. Mr. Ryder here would have you believe that the state of Tennessee doesn't have the right to pass and enforce laws against parents that don't even support their own children. Well, if he's correct, mothers all across the state will go without support, and the state won't be able to enforce laws that were passed specifically to benefit the children within our borders. No, the proof will show that we, the state of Tennessee, does have the right, by and through our elected officials, to pass laws and enforce them, all in the best interest of the children of this state. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Ryder, call your first witness.
I call Senator Reed.
Raise your right hand, please. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. I do.
Senator, is it true that married parents in the state of Tennessee that are getting a divorce are required to file a parenting plan in General Sessions Court?
Yes, it is.
Well, do I as an unwed father get that same chance?
Well, no, but when we pass these laws, it's knowing that the majority of fathers of children born out of wedlock usually leave or simply don't want to support the children.
So the answer is that I don't have those same rights. You assume I don't care about my child and passed a law to take away my rights.
Objection, Your Honor. Argumentative.
Sustained.
Mr. Reed, do you believe that I have the right to know what or who caused injuries to my daughter?
Yes.
Then why do the laws that you've helped pass say that I don't have that right?
We have to protect the children. And in doing so, I agree that most of these laws protect the custodial parent. And most of the time, that's the mother. And the local courts determine who the custodial parent is, not the state.
So you admit the laws you helped pass discriminate against one of the parents?
Objection, Your Honor. Argumentative.
Sustained.
No more questions, Your Honor.
Senator Reed, isn't it true that laws like these are passed because married parents tend to want to take care of their children, while unwed parents tend to want to shirk their parental responsibilities?
We can't leave these mothers out there without any support. There have to be laws to protect them and to make sure the children are provided for.
Thank you. No more questions.
Mr. Ryder, redirect.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Reed, I noticed in your answers that you've consistently talked about the mother's rights
and you haven't once mentioned the fathers of the state. Is that because you don't feel that both parents are equal? And that the fathers are just a side note in the child's life?
The fathers are equal, it's just usually the mother taking care of the child.
Well, is that because the state of Tennessee doesn't see both parents as equal and has allowed local judges to give mothers the custody?
Children are usually better off with the mother in a divorce situation. We have to look at these things from a statistical point of view.
So as far as the state of Tennessee is concerned, my baby girl, she's just a statistic.
Objection.
No more questions, Your Honor.
You may step down, Senator Reed. Okay, Mr. Ryder, who's next?
Miss Walker, have you ever explained to me any information about how my daughter was injured?
No.
Have you ever explained any information to me at all about the stability of my daughter's home life?
No.
Well, could you explain to this jury about how to this day you still haven't explained to me anything about how my daughter received third-degree burns?
It's against state law for me to share any information with anyone except the custodial parent. Mr. Ryder, in this case, you are not.
Ms. Walker, you've just told this jury that you perform your job duties just as the state tells you to. Isn't that correct?
Yes, sir. That's correct.
No more questions.
Mr. Ryder, redirect.
No, sir.
Ms. Walker, you may step down.
Miss Edwards, are you the commissioner for the Department of Child Services for the state of Tennessee?
Yes.
Miss Edwards, do you recognize this magazine that I picked up at the Department of Child Services? And is this the magazine that's given to all the DCS offices supported by your office?
Can I hold it?
Mr. Ryder, what are you doing? You must ask my permission to approach.
Well, Your Honor, can I hand her the magazine?
Permission granted.
Thank you. Do you recognize the subscription?
Yes. This is a parents' magazine that we have in our offices. We believe it gives good parenting tips.
Well, could you please turn to the page that shows a father and a child?
I don't see the picture.
Well, that's okay, Miss Edwards. I couldn't find one either. But would you mind telling me how many pictures there are of a mother and a child?
Objection, Your Honor. This is not a game. If Mr. Ryder has a point to make, let him make it and quit wasting the court's time.
Your Honor, I believe that this jury deserves to hear from the commissioner of the Department of Child Services about a magazine that their office supports.
Overruled. But Mr. Ryder, this is not a case I'm going to allow to drag out, so get to the point.
Miss Edwards, how many pictures of a mother and a child?
I believe there are 17, if I didn't miss one.
So would you say that your office supports a magazine that only sees mothers as parents?
Well, no, just in this issue.
Just in that issue. Well, would you find it interesting that I went back 12 issues and I counted 161 pictures of a mother and a child, but only 16 pictures of a father and a child?
I don't believe we have any editing power over this magazine, Mr. Ryder. We just provide our offices with copies.
There was a 2% chance that a child had been molested in a home. Would you find that a safe, acceptable percentage for the children of the state of Tennessee?
I would have to have more facts.
Well, if that was the only fact that you knew, would you, as the state, place a child back in a home under that risk? Would you take this mother's child and place her back in a home under that risk?
Just knowing that fact? No.
Then why?
I would not advise it.
Then why, Miss Edwards? Why? Why would you take my child and put my child back at home under that very same risk?
Objection, Your Honor. Ms. Edwards doesn't make every decision on every case. Mr. Ryder hasn't given any proof whatsoever that she had anything to do with the decision regarding his daughter.
Sustained. Mr. Ryder, you had better show a little more respect for the state and its representatives. If you want to make accusations, you better have proof. The jury will disregard the last question.
Miss Edwards, do you believe that both parents equally have the right to know about the well-being of their child?
Your Honor, it doesn't matter what Ms. Edwards believes. She must abide by the laws of this state.
Sustained.
I don't have any more questions, Your Honor.
Ms. Edwards, you deal with a lot of parents. Have you or your department treated Mr. Ryder any differently than any of the other parents you deal with?
No. In fact, we have put a lot of time into this case.
Thank you. No more questions.
Mr. Ryder?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Miss
Mr.
Edwards.
Ryder, forget something?
Your Honor, may I please approach Miss Edwards?
Permission granted.
Miss Edwards, could you please tell me how many times have your representatives had to investigate injuries on my daughter?
I show 7 times.
7 times. Would you please explain to this jury the details of those injuries?
She had a severely burned foot, burns to her head, black eyes, severe rashes, a 3rd-degree burn to her hip, a swollen head, and a torn lining in her vagina.
Miss Edwards, I couldn't hear you. Could you please speak up so this jury can hear you, and please explain the details of those injuries?
She had a severely burned foot, burns to her head, black eyes, severe rashes, a 3rd-degree burn to her hip, a swollen head, and a torn lining in her vagina.
Can you tell me whose care she was under when those injuries occurred?
The mother.
The mother.
Why, Miss Edwards? Why? Why didn't you do your job? Why didn't you protect my daughter? And she was under my care as a father when I've been treated any differently.
Objection! Hypothetical question, Your Honor.
Your Honor, I believe the jury knows the answer.
Mr. Ryder, you are dangerously close to contempt. Objection sustained. The next time there is an objection, you will stop and wait for my ruling. Do we understand each other, Mr. Ryder?
Yes, sir. I am finished with Miss Edwards.
Okay, Miss Edwards, you're dismissed. We're taking a lunch break. Court will be back in session at 1:30 p.m. sharp. I'm ordering the jury to not discuss this case with anyone.
All right. Oh, yes, this court is back in session. Honorable Judge Philip presiding. I'll be seated, please.
Mr. Ryder, do you have another witness?
Your Honor, I call myself.
Raise your right hand. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, I do. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm up here on this stand today because of my little girl, Donna Marie. And because this state has brought my little girl and myself harm. See, the state says, they tell me that I don't have a right to know what's going on in her life. That I don't have a right to know who she's with, what she's doing, if she's been injured, or any of the details leading up to it. Why? Because I'm an unwed father. I'm not married to the mother. I had my child out of wedlock. For that, I'm guilty. I'm guilty. But I love that little girl with all my heart. And I'm her father. And the state says that I don't have the right to know what's going on in her life. And I say that's wrong. I say it's dead wrong. And I'm asking you as parents, ask yourselves, what would you do? My little girl's been burned. Black and blue eyes. Burned so bad she couldn't walk. I missed her first Christmas. I missed her first Easter. Is there any way I can get those memories back? 8 months of her life. I don't know anything that happened. 8 months of her life, I don't know what happened. Because the state says I'm not allowed to know because I'm an unwed father. I'm overlooked. I'm passed up. I don't matter. I'm asking you for your help today. This is all I know to do. This is all I know to do. What would you do as parents? What would you do? What would you do as parents if the state came into your home and told you that you had no right to know the details of your own child's life? What would you do? I might not be as smart as this attorney right here. I might not have his degree. I might not know everything that's supposed to go on here in this courtroom. But I know right from wrong, and I know you do too. I know you know what's right from wrong. Search your heart. I know you know in your heart. But this is wrong. It's dead wrong. And I'm asking you to change it, not just for Donna, but for every child in the state of Tennessee. I'm asking you, I'm begging you, help me out. Search your hearts. You don't have to search far. Do it for your own kids.
Do you have any more witnesses?
No, Your Honor.
Your Honor, that was warm, fuzzy, and emotional. But Mr. Ryder has the burden of proof. He's offered absolutely no evidence that the state has done anything wrong. We move to dismiss.
Mr. Ryder, counsel, please approach the bench.
Your Honor, Mr. Ryder's been before you 19 times. Just because he doesn't like the results doesn't mean that the state has done anything wrong. This case has got to be dismissed.
Your Honor, I've brought in state investigators, I brought in the district attorney's office, I've given all kinds of facts. There's no way anybody can deny that the system just treats me differently.
You've made this trial personal. We're not looking for personal evidence. We're looking for solid evidence that the state and its representatives have done something wrong. Now, I'm going to have to dismiss this case, and I will be glad to do so unless you can provide proof against the state. I'm asking you for the last time, do you have that proof? Miss Little, do you have something to do with this case?
If it pleases the state, Your Honor.
Your Honor, Ms. Little works very well with the state. We appreciate her and we respect her opinions. We have absolutely no problem with her addressing this court.
Mr. Ryder, any objections?
No, Your Honor. No.
Miss Little, take the stand and be sworn in.
Thank you.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do. Your Honor, may I stand and address the jury?
I don't see a problem with that.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I am with the state of Tennessee. I have been a counselor for over 20 years. And in those years, I think we have helped fathers, mothers, and children. But in most of those cases, I have testified that the child belongs with the mother. Therefore, this nice attorney doesn't mind me speaking with you. And the judge has heard me testify many times that a young child especially needs to bond with its mother. And so he doesn't mind me speaking with you. But I am here today to tell you that in many of those cases, I was wrong.
Objection. Your Honor, while we appreciate Ms. Little and her service to the state, and we respect her opinions, her testimony today is highly irregular. We ask that her testimony be stricken and the jury be instructed to disregard her comments.
Your Honor, wait a minute. Just a second ago, the court and the state said that they respected Miss Little and her comments. So if the state has the respect for Miss Little that they say they do, I think Miss Little should be allowed to finish.
Overruled.
But Your Honor.
Overruled.
But Your Honor, we didn't even ask for...
Overruled. Miss Little, you may continue.
Thank you. As I was saying, many times I have been wrong. The state and I have not meant to cause any damage, but that really isn't important. What's important is that today the media, everything bombards us. Think just a moment about commercials and ads that we all see every day on television, and we don't question them, where the mother is usually portrayed as the heroine, holding the family together, rarely the father. On my way here, I heard an ad on the radio for an attorney's office that is going to help us nail all those deadbeat dads. Literature. Every month, the state sends a magazine to my office. I'm sure that Mr. Ryder showed it to you. He made me aware of it when he came to my office. By the way, I have remodeled, My office, I now have pictures of mothers and fathers with their children on my walls. That day in my office, I listened to Mr. Ryder. And when he spoke about his daughter, I heard the love and I saw the love in his eyes. And then I heard the passion in his voice concerning the welfare of his daughter. And it made me think of someone in my life important, my father. When I was a little girl, my father would let me, he'd let me put makeup on and paint his fingernails. Heaven forbid that his buddies should ever find out. And we'd have tea parties. And then he'd sit me in his lap and we'd drive off in his old truck. He'd always keep one hand on that wheel, but he'd let me think that I was the best driver ever. And fishing, he loved fishing. And I was his little fishing buddy. And then I got older and I met my future husband. And I remember my father crying at my wedding. I'd never seen my father cry before. He hugged me, told me how much he loved me, how proud he was of me, that I would always be his little buddy. He's been gone a very long time, and I still miss him terribly. So, in my respected opinion, I agree with Mr. Ryder. I believe that the state's laws do not consider parents and children equally. They treat them differently. And I think that responsible parents, we have to change those laws. Responsible parents, married or unmarried, need to be treated equal. And the children of those marriages or non-marriages also need to be treated equally. It's not the child's fault if the parents aren't married. A father's rights need to be considered and examined right along with the mother's rights, so that the end result is in the very best interest of the child. I am here today to ask you to find me guilty, along with all the state officials, the Office of the DCS. I am willing to change those laws. And I'd like to believe, for the sake of all the children of Tennessee, that all of those officials are as willing as I am. And I'd like to thank Mr. Ryder for being a father who was willing to fight for what he believed in. I'd like to thank you for being a father. Thank you. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, give it back to the foreman. Mr. Foreman, read your verdict.
We, the jury, in the case of Ryder versus Tennessee, find for the plaintiff.
Quiet down. Quiet down.
Your Honor, we find damages in the amount of $1. We find punitive damages in the amount of $1. Your Honor, we'd also like to add to the punitive damages that the state of Tennessee must pass a law within 6 months giving all parents equal rights, regardless of their sex or marital status. Also, that all children must be treated equally. If the court does not allow this finding, or if we do not have the right to add this to the $1 damages, then we award $100 million in punitive damages to Mr. Ryder.
Lord, you know I'm not a perfect man. I try to do what's right the best I can. So much that I still don't understand about what it is that makes me who I am. This road I'm walking leads me far from home. Places now I wish I'd never gone. And while there's still time, help me turn around. Lord, lead me to a healing ground. I need a healing ground. Healing ground where I can lay my worries down. A healing ground. Take me back into your grace again. A place my weary heart has space to mend. Wrap your love around and lay me down on healing ground. The battle rages deep inside of me. My soul is tossed upon a stormy sea that pulls me further, further out of reach from all of those who count on me. My heart is empty, turning inside out. Time has filled it up with bitter doubt. So on my knees, Lord, I beg you now, lead me to healing ground. I need a healing ground. Healing ground where I can lay my worries down. On healing ground, take me back into your grace again. A place my weary heart has space to mend. Wrap your love around and lay me down on healing ground. Well, there's no distance between our hearts, where love is born again and new life starts, where I can still find peace of mind. Healing ground. Healing ground where I can lay my troubles down. I need a healing ground. Take me back into your grace again. A place my weary heart has space to mend. Wrap your love around and lay